Hi, I'm Michael Bordash. I'm a Senior Vice President of Research and Development here at Syniverse. I've been an anti-fraud messaging and AI engineer for most of my career, and today I'm going to talk to you about messaging trust. Given the massive global reach of mobile messaging, it is no doubt why criminals have been attracted to engaging and targeting victims using SMS, MMS, RCS across the globe. Mobile messaging is the dominant communication channel, reaching almost the entire global mobile subscriber population. It has unparalleled open rates. SMS messages have significantly higher engagement rates than email. Coupled with fast response times, businesses and criminals alike love to use text messaging. So the problem statement is quite straightforward. These criminals are acting much more like chief marketing officers. They're engaging their targets and victims across many channels. Most of the time, they're going to be using mobile messages for the same reasons that I mentioned before. They're using AI to better craft not only text messages in the right language with the right grammar, but they're also using great imagery and presentation in order to trick the end user to think that, hey, this is my brand engaging with me. And this is really the problem that we're facing here. How do we fight back? How do we look at all the different types of fraud that are occurring across these mobile channels using URLs and images and text and websites and phone numbers and really attacking consumers in every way possible? How do we fight back and prevent all this behavior? Well, the answer is an AI. An AI that we've developed here will help spot these behaviors and prevent them from even arriving on the phone number, and help to try to restore the trust that has been eroding due to the increasing number of messages these criminals are sending to consumers. So what's happening in the market? Yesterday we were dealing with pretty straightforward spam, and today we're faced with complex spear phishing, pig butchering, one-to-one communication that are sometimes from bots, but also sometimes some actual humans in different parts of the world that will try to engage their targets in a way that fulfills some trust. Like I mentioned, they're using AI to help craft these engagements to be more like legitimate marketing officers. And so an AI solution is needed to help defeat these criminals. Syniverse Messaging Trust aims to be that AI platform. It analyzes across many different languages: SMS, MMS, RCS text. It also looks at images like a human would look at image and determine whether that image is harmful or whether there is text in the image itself that could perpetuate spam or fraud, right? We also look at the URLs, including the destination, to make sure that the link is not a phishing website. The neural network behind it has a variety of different analyzers underneath, which I'll talk about in a second. But it also includes a rule-based engine such that we can customize the actions that the machine learning module determines as the right approach based on the terms of service that the operator has employed for their consumers, but also different localities and regions around the globe that have rules about certain types of content. Most notably here in the United States with cannabis, the machine learning model with the rule engine can adjust based on those factors where it's deployed. And finally, we've developed this in a containerized structure such that we can deploy it on our premise here at Syniverse for sure, but we can also deploy it at our customer's premise in a public cloud, private cloud, you name it. It's deployable via Kubernetes installation, which is ubiquitous across the globe these days. We've also partnered this AI with humans, for sure the data scientists that help train the model, keep it up to date, to make sure there's no what's called domain shift or any shifts in criminal activity. We want to make sure that we keep on top of any shifts in those behaviors. But we also crafted clustering algorithms such that our trust center, our human analysts, can look at what's happening on the ground with messaging to determine whether maybe there's a new campaign that has launched that the machine learning might not have gotten 100% correct, or that we have a new policy to implement as a result of an action from the operator. The Trust Center allows us to immediately craft that policy, inject it into messaging trust, and either block or allow those messages to continue on to their recipients. As you may have seen many reports, messaging fraud is an expensive problem for the ecosystem itself, and of course the brands that are destroyed through the imposter use in these criminal campaigns. And we've trained our models to spot these types of behaviors and prevent them from taking further action. Specifically, pig butchering scams have caused significant losses over the past few years, and it's only going to increase in the years to come. And these are really one-to-one messaging that try to engage trust, that are quite hard to spot because they're conversational and P2P in nature. So our machine learning has to be very accurate in terms of if a conversation is going towards a malicious intent, we can block that before an action takes place. And the rise in spam text necessitates improved monitoring and regulation, right? So it's not just Syniverse itself, but the globe is researching how to monitor and to regulate and even prevent these messages from perpetuating. Robust consumer protection and anti-fraud measures are urgently needed to mitigate risk. Syniverse messaging trust is built upon decades of pure math experience, right? Pure machine learning, massive data engineering talent, 2 decades of omni-channel anti-spam and fraud engineering and research, as well as over 2 decades at the center of the mobile messaging ecosystem. So in short, we have an extreme amount of data that our models have been built upon. We have the engineering talent to make sense of that data and to build models that quickly adapt to criminal activity. And we have the integration points to help protect the ecosystem, but more importantly, bring our model beyond our doors into the hands of other operators around the globe that are experiencing similar criminal activities. Like I mentioned before, the software we've crafted is modular. It was crafted as a cloud-first application. All the different pieces and components are containerized and deployable via a Kubernetes plane. So you'll see on the left-hand side a variety of different modules that we've created to handle things like OCR or optical character recognition, which also includes image hashing and image object detection. We have a risk module to determine how a number has behaved over time. And if there's an increasing level of activity for that number, we're going to block that immediately and disallow them from sending messages. We have a machine learning model for URL detection, as well as natural language detection for different fraudulent campaigns, as well as legitimate campaigns. Our policy and rule engine helps fold in all the different rules from the operators and the governments to take action as a result of those messages. And we also handle feedback loops from the operator so that we can continue to train this model and leverage the reports from end users to make sure our model is up to date. We've trained our model in billions of fraud and legitimate content over the past few years. And we go beyond the traditional spam or ham, which is called a binary model. And we train a classifier with over 30 different classifications across fraud and legitimate targets. Our behavioral model spots SIM farms before they take action. Our real-time image analysis engine includes a perceptual hashing model, which enables us to have a fast result in terms of if an image has been used before in a particular campaign. And even if the criminal modify that image just a little bit, perceptual hashing allows us to fast determine whether those images are similar. We've also developed an OCR model that helps to lift text out of an image, because as you've seen, criminals have started to embed their text in images to try to avoid text-based classifiers. So we need to go into computer vision AI and be able to read those images fast and cost effectively to make sure there's nothing in there that could help the criminals perpetuate this fraud. And finally, our image object model helps to detect CSAM. And we do this before it impacts operators so that we are able to share this horrible information with the federal government and help bring these perpetuators of crime to justice. Our omnichannel protocol data stream architecture supports direct injection through protocols like gRPC, a simple REST API, as well as deep integration with RCS, SMS, and MMS channels. And like I mentioned before, we've developed this with a multilingual approach supporting 18 languages out of the box. The roadmap for Syniverse messaging trust is rather exciting, and this is what I see in 2025 and 2026, is going deeper into the handsets, including iOS and Android, bringing our models out from the back channels and directly into the handsets, such that the user themselves have direct control over how the AI responds to their spam. One person's spam is different from another's. So we want to bring those controls and the power of AI directly on the handsets. We're going to focus on the expansion of our text and image models. We see that becoming a dominant channel over the next year or so. And there will be new use cases that we're going to be on top of so we can train our models to support our initiatives very quickly. We've started investigation in deepfake algorithms that perform an analysis whether an image or a video has potential fake content in there at a cost-effective rate. And then we're going to go into audio. So our content channels are primarily trained on text and images, but similar types of content appear over audio in terms of communication from criminal call centers to potential targets and victims. There's no reason why our models can't work with an audio channel, and this is where we're going. So some immediate next steps that you'll see from this product line include expansion to all U.S. operators, expanding to international operators using our custom language packages, which also include cultural AI training. It's not just enough to learn the language, but you have to learn the cultural nuances of communication in order for an AI to be rather effective. So culture and language go hand in hand with messaging trust. And finally, we've developed a model that can help extract imposter brand use, right? Or criminals using a legitimate brand's image or logo or text to help, create that trust. And then we're going to offer a solution to alert these brands when their assets are being exploited through the channels that we protect. In conclusion, the messaging channels are under threat from the bad guys, and they're getting quite smarter, mostly thanks to AI. Syniverse Messaging Trust brings its unfair competitive advantage to bear protecting consumers, enterprises, and mobile operators alike. Our service-oriented solution, our containerized solution, folds into our customer environments. We can fold into your protocols, your container backplane, and allow for the scalable architecture to work within your parameters. And finally, our multi-patented solution secures Syniverse investment in AI-based anti-fraud. And you're going to see a heck of a lot more patents from us over the next year or two as we continue to combat these criminals. Thanks so much for your time. Happy to take any questions if you may have them. Have a great day.